Hello, 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 everybody, and welcome to another Toonkind at 12 FPS. This is Shades of Fear, and I am Mira, who will be playing a multitude of potential characters. And with me is the very wonderful, charming, beautiful.
Hey, you remembered this time. Sorry. Hello, my name is Katie, and I'm playing my wonderful idiot, Lore. And I'm also with the wonderful, beautiful, gorgeous, etc., Mira. And I shall set the scene. Lore has been chilling, camping out in the woods for a little bit for reasons that, if you know anything about him, are clear. He gets lost very easily. But don't worry, he's prepared. He got a tent and junk. He's good. He's fine. It's fine. Anyway, he's used to what happens when he goes to sleep, but he never knows what exactly he's gonna get. So he starts to drift off, and he closes his eyes.
Mm-hmm. And unbeknownst to you, Lore, you close your eyes, and your eyes, before they slip closed, glow purple.
Fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, shit.
And
man, I wonder if that has anything to do with the ominous title card.
Hey, all right, started off great. Okay, that was a nat 1.
You're a nat 1. Shit.
Okay, my boy, what are you having a nightmare about tonight? You...
I look up 2 boys. Anyway. A bagel.
You open your eyes, Lore, and it is very dark.
Lore just sighs and has a really tired look on his face as he waits to know what this one's about.
Mm-hmm. Do you try to move around at all?
He honestly, at this point, knows enough that he's probably just gonna sit down.
Okay. Rolling perception.
Oh, love him. I fear for you already, my son. Why did we think this was a good idea? Never mind, I know why. As a 13? That's not awful for no modifiers.
Yep, okay, with a 13, you see through the darkness bars.
Laura just sighs. And he stands up again and brushes himself off and decides to get
You
closer.
can't stand.
Shit. It's one of these.
Mm-hmm. Your head hits the top of something metal, and the metal echoes.
Or just whimpers and sighs, because it's like, oh, great, it's one of these.
Mm-hmm. And you realize you are in a cage, Lore.
Yep, this feels familiar.
You are in a cage, and your arms hurt.
Yep. He holds them. And he looks down. And remembers to breathe.
Your hand comes away stained with purple ink.
He closes his eyes really tight.
When do you open them again?
In a few minutes. He's just trying to catch his breath. Because it hurts.
When you open your eyes again, you're no longer in a cell.
He flinches.
But your arms are bound behind your back. And you're not wearing a shirt.
He bites his lip. There just waits for what he figures is gonna come.
A real kind man steps up in front of you. He looks kind.
Lore glares.
The man just smiles and grabs your chin and tilts it up.
Lore looks at this person. He's like, I know you can't fucking hear me, but if I ever see you, I'm going to kill you.
Oh, Einquell, you've already said that so many times.
Lore spits in his face.
The man just wipes the spittle away and nods to someone that you can't see because the man still has a tight grip on your chin.
Or tries to tear it away, but he knows it's not there.
It doesn't work. You hear something hot and sizzling.
He just does his best to make sure he's not going to bite his tongue.
And you experience something odd. Your vision washes over in what to viewers would know is gold. And suddenly you feel so happy and giddy. Why wouldn't you trust this person that is holding your chin? You wouldn't let anyone else but a friend get so close to you.
Yeah, Laura just has that stupid smile on his face.
And then the pain hits in your left shoulder.
Yep.
The scene cuts away. It is dark again, but your arms are bound and you can't move.
Laura just sighs and waits.
When do you open your eyes again next?
Kind of starts singing a song. He knows that probably by the end of it is when the next thing will come. That's usually what happens.
The next thing you see when you open your eyes again,
Mm-hmm.
you're on a beach.
Am I still bound?
No. Though you feel the faint remnants of strings withering away underneath, like from your arms.
He rubs his wrists, but he doesn't look. He knows what's there.
You look around and there's still the crashing of the waves, call of birds. The sky is awash with the setting sun, painting the land in fading warmth.
He just takes a deep breath. It's getting harder and harder to convince himself that these aren't real.
Mm-hmm. Roll me perception.
Yay! What trauma will we perceive today? That's another 13. Apparently it's a 13 day. If I get 13 in a row, do I get a prize? Is it more trauma?
Well, the first thing you see is an overturned wagon.
Ooh. It's new? Or familiar?
It's more recent,
More recent. Yeah.
but
He didn't really start having too many of these dreams until he got to mine.
mm-hmm,
He's always had nightmares, but not these ones.
mm-hmm. But you you see you see a ship sailing into the distance, coming closer. But what draws your eye is something red spilling across the beach. You don't, you know it's red, even though you can't truly conceive red, even in the dream. Or maybe you can.
Yeah, when he's in the dreams, he sees color. It's muted, but there's usually one or two colors. It's usually the ink in color.
Mm-hmm. This, you know, immediately is not ink being spilled. It's blood.
Yep.
But what is new about this seen. You've seen the ship. You've seen the overturned wagon. You've seen those. But what is new is that you see a young man on the ground, glasses askew.
Me, Katie, does not know this. And I look at you, you evil. Don't you smile? Oh, this is so much worse in person when I can see your stupid face.
And you walk past the young man on the ground who does not move, who is the source of the blood.
Boy's gonna.
He looks.
Check on.
You can't check on him.
Crap. The dream's autopiloting him again. He hates it when this happens.
You just move, and there is a purple toon trying to stop you. There is a monkey toon trying to stop you. And then you stab the man that held your chin through the heart with a rapier.
Or sighs and smiles. Some bastard.
And you pull the rapier out, and the man falls. And then you get this overwhelming sense of horror as the rage that you had been feeling fades. And you turn to the boy in the sand. And you immediately know that was your brother.
That I stabbed?
Yes.
I look at you and I slap you really hard. Fully work. Moy just throws down the sword if he's able. Can he even move on his own?
Yes. But your body, as the rapier is falling, falls over to cradle this body as you realize
What that's?
You've basically fallen to your knees.
Okay.
To pick up this young man.
What do they look like?
Human.
Okay.
Young. Black hair. Messy black hair.
Mm-hmm.
And then the dream shifts. You're back in the cage again.
Moy just doesn't try to do anything.
And you can feel the boat rocking back and forth.
Moy just stares at a corner. Doesn't move. He's upset. But he knows he can't really do anything about it. He's tried to wake up before. It doesn't go.
Mm-hmm. When do you next close your eyes?
After a few minutes, probably.
You wake back up on the beach.
Or just goes, oh.
But this time, the boy is still alive, but he is standing right in front of you. Right in front of the man that you want to kill so badly.
Can I move?
You can move.
Can I shove the person I know is my brother away?
You can try. Roll me strength. You can use. Roll.
Okay,
roll.
just roll. Okay.
All right, yeah. The boy goes flying and falls flat in the face. In the dirt. Well, sand. so to speak.
I mean, yeah, I guess a little overzealous. It's fine. 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 Sure, they're fine.
And you see the boy get up, and you hear a voice in your head, but you can't understand the name he calls you. You never can.
Never can. Never hear their names usually either.
It's just what they're called.
It's just what they're called.
Usually the terms that very, very derogatory from the feelings that well up inside you. But you can tell as this voice rings in your head that this is someone calling a name with care. And the anger subsides as the man, the imp Toon, and the monkey managed to pin the man who had been the source of your pain for so long to the ground. And it's over. As the rage subsides and you collapse to your knees on a bloodless beach.
Or just takes a deep breath. And just stares down. And he sings that song again. Knowing that it usually takes about the length of a song.
Only perception.
Mm-hmm. I'm just gonna, you can see my rolls. I'm just gonna do them here.
Mm-hmm.
That's a 13. What the flip?
Roll again.
Roll again? Why?
Because you keep getting 13.
What's wrong with 13?
I want to see if you get something else other than a pecking 13.
There's nothing wrong with a 13, Mira.
Roll again.
That's fine. If I get less than a 13, we're going with the 13.
Yes.
Yeah, no, it's 13, okay?
Your dice hate you.
They don't hate me. They just don't like me enough.
Okay. With the 13, you're suddenly in. You're in a meadow. There is forest all around you.
This one before?
No.
No, it's new. Okay. Well, Laura's hesitant to hope that it's a good thing, but does enjoy seeing something that's vaguely like home.
Mm-hmm. It looks real. It's not toony. And with that 13, you again notice something else. You're you.
That, okay. You're... Oh gosh. That hasn't happened in a while. Gosh, at all. Oh gosh. I should make a whiz save. One moment. Hey, look, it's not a 13, it's an 11. Yeah, he manages to stay calm more or less, but he does, like, can he move?
You can move. You can move, yes.
Yeah, he kind of takes a step back and looks around kind of frantically, like trying to figure out what the heck this is. Like, he's gonna look around and even call out, like, hello?
Hi?
He turns around to see where the fuck that came from.
Roll me investigation.
It's a 5.
Was that a nat 1?
It was a 3 plus 2.
Okay. I couldn't tell.
It's a 5. You're too short. Are you just hidden on the grass? Grass too long. Are you just... Sorry. Whew. This is serious.
Yeah, you can't see the person that is speaking. You just see long meadow grass and flowers waving in a light breeze.
Can I still see color?
No.
No? Well, that's makes it feel more real. Do I recognize the flowers?
Nope.
Well, that's unsettling.
Not unless you've been to Furuma.
He doesn't freaking know. He can't remember where Furuma is. He's just gonna look around again and just like
roll me another investigation if you're looking around again.
Yeah, no, he's just gonna be like, hello?
Someone there? Miss Nana? That's not Miss Nana's voice. Who are you?
That's 20! 22.
Okay.
Why, Lord?
With a nat 20, you suddenly clock the little toon that is completely bald in a gray kimono, kind of wandering through the trees into the meadow, and they look very timid.
How old are they, do you think?
They are...
I remind you about the nat 20 and I look at you.
They are... I'm trying to remember timeline. They look to be about 7.
I want to slap your face so hard. Okay. Yeah, Laura's gonna start like quickly pacing over and just like wave like, can you see me?
Mm-hmm. You're tall.
Well, you're small. He smiles.
Yeah, it's gotta roll.
Are you okay?
I
Are they hurt at all?
roll me insight.
I have a 20 in the investigation and I got to walk over. Okay. Never mind, that's another nat 20.
Okay. You immediately clock on that this little boy is holding his arm in a way that would be common and analogous to someone getting a blood draw on a human.
Laura crouches down and says, hey, can I see your arm? Are you okay?
I'm fine. I'm okay. I'm a big boy.
Hey, even big boys get hurt. Can I make sure you're okay? I'm an adult, so it's my job to do that.
But Mama and Papa said it was fine.
Okay, well, it could be fine, but can you reassure me so that I know it's fine too? Because I can't see what they see.
Okay. And they pull up their sleeve, and you see a little bandage wrapped around their arm, very carefully placed, like someone has done it a million times before.
Well, it looks like whoever bandaged you up knows what they're doing. Are you okay?
Yeah, I just it was scary.
What? Lord kind of thinks for a second, and he's like, "What? Do you know where we are?"
Mm-hmm. We're at our manor, right outside, and it's right by Earlstown. Well, not right by. You still have to like drive a lot in a carriage. I always fall asleep, so I don't actually know how long it takes to get there. But I always it's a few sleeps.
Where's Earlstown?
And Miss Nana calls it Furu. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, don't say that. Lord, like, where's his hand? He kind of holds his head confused because this has never happened before. And he kind of pinches himself. Does he feel it?
Yes.
It feels like he's awake.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, oh. He says something in a language that this person does not understand.
The little child tilts their head with a very visible question mark popping up. What?
I don't say, don't repeat that. Like, just kind of ruffles the back of his hair frustratedly, like, oh my gosh.
Mister, are you okay?
Lore sticks out a hand, and he's like, you can call me Lord.
Oh, that's a nice name.
Thanks. Lore Inquire Terra. Nice to meet you.
Mm-hmm.
What's yours?
I have to roll to see if you actually hear this name. Oh, okay. This boy smiles up at you, and it is the biggest, most trusting grin you've ever seen. And you see color, Lore. It's bright, sunshiny yellow.
Lore's eye twitches.
And he smiles and goes, I'm Sammy. Sammy Jax. It's nice to meet you, Mr. Lore.
Lore's frozen because he's never been able to hear people's names in dreams.
So, why are you in the grounds? Because only Miss Nana's supposed to be here during summer.
Hey kid, do you know how you got here?
I was playing in the forest.
Okay. Lore's, like, kind of lets go of their hand and, like, tries to stand up and then gives up and just kind of falls back to sit down as he just kind of stares off into the distance, trying to figure out what the hell is going on.
Mr. Lore, are you okay?
What? Oh, you can just Lore. Kid, I'm not a mister.
But you're a grown-up. That's what all Mama and Papa say you gotta say. Because everybody's a Mr. and a Miss or Mix.
Well, I'm technically an adult, yeah, but if an adult gives you their permission, you can just call them by the name they tell you.
Oh.
So just call me Lore.
Ooh, okay.
Sammy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you change shading?
Mm-hmm. It's what Mom and Dada... Well, Dada not really, because Dada's got... They're dull. I don't know why. But anyways, but there's Stasha and me, and we and there's Mama, and we change color, like our emotions.
Your emotions?
Mm-hmm. I'm all yellow because I'm really happy.
Blue tries to pinch his cheek again. Does it still feel real?
Yep.
He swears again in a different language that he's pretty confident the kid doesn't know.
Huh?
He's like, don't repeat that. Don't. You're fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't even come close.
Yeah. Don't. You gotta. I shouldn't tell you how to. Never mind. Hey, what color when you're afraid is it?
Purple? It's actually kind of like your eyes.
Here.
Mm-hmm. That's funny. Do all humans have purple eyes?
Not normally.
Oh. Well,
so why did you have to get your ink taken?
How did you know it was ink?
Toon. What else would it be?
The boy starts backing up. I need to go.
Wait, kid, are you okay?
I'm fine. And he books it.
Shit. Lore, like, holds his head, not knowing what to do, and just runs after him. Like, wait!
The surrounding things shift on you.
Laura's like, ah, shit. Okay.
And
does it feel like scene changing?
It does feel like scene changing.
Laura is he is no longer sure if he's awake or not.
And you run. And you run. And the trees blur around you, Lore. And suddenly, what used to be day is now night. And you come across a hill overlooking a manicured lawn, overlooking what should be a manor. I'm not asking you to roll perception for this, but you can smell the acrid smell of burning wood smoke and plaster.
Laura runs. Can he?
Where are you running?
Towards the thing on fire, because he's stupid and he's concerned.
Yep, you can run towards the fire.
Yeah, he's not sure if he's awake or not. He's gonna run towards it and start calling out. Is anyone there? Shit. He like starts pacing around before he tries to see if there's like a safe way in.
Roll me perception.
Yeah. That's an 18.
Okay, with an 18, you see several things. You see two figures.
Is it a bagel? I'm sorry. 2 figures.
You see two figures being dragged out by people you vaguely recognize as similar silhouettes to the man that you absolutely hate with your entire being and wish was dead.
Low charges them.
You go right through.
Well, he takes a deep breath in shock. And he's like, okay, so turns around. Do they notice him?
Nope.
Shit. Okay, dream. He pinches his cheek again. Does it still feel real?
Still feels real.
It's like, okay, shit. He tries to see who's being dragged off.
It is a man and a woman.
Are they conscious?
No.
Are they okay?
They are soot-stained but alive. You can't see much else despite an 18.
He tries to get a good look at the faces.
Roll me an investigation just to see how well you can memorize them.
14.
You do a pretty decent job at memorizing them, but you also click together that this somehow is in the past that you are seeing. You don't know if they look the same because they are toon.
Yeah.
And they could change.
Okay. What about does he recognize the people? Taking
Like I said,
yeah.
One of them looks strikingly familiar.
What about the other?
You don't recognize them.
Or stares at them very hard and makes some mental notes.
But with that previous 18, you also saw something else. You saw two very small figures, one slightly taller than the other, running towards the forest, towards that hill that you woke up on.
Lord kind of turns and he's like, kid. And he like starts getting to his feet and starting to run.
You chase after the two figures and you run, and the scene changes again as you run, but you can still see the two soot-stained figures. The smaller one actually reaching over and picking up the taller one and putting them on their back as they run. You quickly realize with that 18 that the taller one is badly burned. And you keep running, and they keep running. And eventually it turns into real cobblestone streets. And you realize that they're on the for a very long time as you follow them. They can't hear you.
The two kids?
The two kids.
Okay.
And then the scene changes. And suddenly you're not yourself anymore. And you are small.
Blair looks at his hands.
They are the exact white that boy, his skin, was.
Blair closes his eyes really tight. He's like, shit. He opens them again and looks around.
You are in a house.
Blair's confused.
It's a real kind house.
It's us.
Everything's too tall for you. It's clearly made
he
for
hates
adults.
this. He hates this.
And there is the passed out form of that taller child on a couch, bandaged.
Should have long hair.
And she has white hair and it's short and shaggy. You realize that there was a very significant change recently with her.
Yeah. Blair gets closer and kind of sees if they're awake.
She's asleep. Fast asleep.
Blair tries to look around more and try to figure out where they are.
Roll me investigation.
Yep. I look at you. You're hurting me.
You asked for this.
Hey, we both asked for this. That's a 5. He's too short to see shit.
Yeah, no, you don't see anything. And your body jumps when the door opens.
He jumps and jumping and feeling afraid, he looks down at his hand.
It's the same purple as your eyes.
I think Blair starts to tear up.
Hey, kid, why are you crying? And you suddenly are face to face with the very man that had hurt you so much that you wanted to kill, but he's younger in this. His smile is still very bright and charming. You don't know why you trust this person, even though you know you should not.
Can you move?
No, you're not able to pilot.
And like, oh.
As he kind of bends down and just kind of cursory looks you over, you realize that he's looking for injuries and finds nothing. And he just kind of pats you on the shoulder and goes, "You're okay, kid. You're an adult. Well, you're not an adult, but you're a big kid. You don't need to cry. You're not a baby."
Can more speak?
Yes.
What's your name?
It's Simon, kid.
Simon what?
The man kind of just raises an eyebrow and doesn't say anything else, but kind of pats you on the head and gets up.
What's your last name?
Sinclair, kid. How did the world did she survive that? And he walks away and looks at the girl.
Or closes his eyes and tries to memorize. Works very hard to try to remember that name.
Roll me either intelligence or investigation or something, because you're trying to memorize this.
14.
Okay, with a 14, you manage to commit the name to memory, and the fact that you have been dreaming this man's face ever since you got to Einquell.
Yep.
So it lodges in your mind with that 14. Simon Sinclair.
Can you move again?
Yes. Roll me, what are you intending to do?
Go to the person on the couch.
Okay. All right. What are you planning to do when you get there?
Memorize the face.
All right. Roll me another intelligence.
17.
Okay. With a 17, you clearly memorize their face shape and the way they look when they're asleep. And even if they went through a design change, you would recognize them immediately.
Laura's gonna carefully place a hand on their shoulder and gently see if they can wake them up.
And they do manage to stir. And several things happen at once.
Uh-huh.
The girl wakes up. The man turns around and slaps you across the face. And you suddenly, the calm, hazy background radiation of contentment, trust, cheer shatters. And the girl tells you to run. And your body's no longer under your own power as you.
Did Laura get a sight of her?
With the 17, I would say yes. He would be able to see her eyes.
Yeah. Red.
And then the body turns and runs. The boy you've been dreaming of runs, even as the man shouts. And then there's awful commotion as you assume the girl fights tooth and nail. And then the dream shifts. You're hiding in a crowd and you can see Simon Sinclair trying to hunt you down. But then a man you recognize finds you. And the dream softens.
Professor?
It's the professor.
Can Laura move?
You can't move, but you go through and are treated so wonderfully by the professor and are left with this gentle sense of trust and warmth before the dream shifts again. And you are suddenly surrounded by ruin. Houses burnt to rubble, the sky red. Make me a con save.
Oh, fun. 17.
Okay. You know that this is hurting. Something is tearing at this person's mind. And it hurts as something precious is torn away. You don't know what that boy lost in this ruins.
Did he hear anything?
Roll me perception.
It's a 12.
Okay, with a 12, you get the sense that there was something that caused this loss,
Mm-hmm.
but you can't remember. It's this part of the dream is so fragmented and distorted, and you realize that this is a memory that is corrupted and broken by the very loss that happened.
Where's Laura now?
Did he close his eyes?
Yep.
All right. He is.
I will say he's holding his head and he's just saying, wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up.
And you wake up.
He goes to pinch his cheek and then just drops his hand because what the fuck is that going to do? And is he back in his tent?
He is back in his tent.
He just takes a deep breath and exhales and sits up
Mm-hmm.
and very quickly just goes to see what time it might be. He unzips his tent.
It's just barely dawn.
Seems about right. He sighs. Okay. He rubs out his face, takes another deep breath, and moves on and starts getting ready for his day. But the first thing he does is he goes to his backpack and he pulls out a familiar looking journal. He sets that aside and digs a little deeper. And then there's a smaller journal. One that, if you had known him, you haven't seen him pull out before. And he very carefully flips to a blank page and starts writing down the names he remembers and drawing the faces he remembers. Takes a sigh and he flips through some of the pages and you see very similar images and notes. And then he snaps it shut, secures it, and puts it back in his bag. And then he looks at the other notebook, opens it to his list of friends, and he gets an idea, closes the book and pulls out a pen. And he writes down Sammy Jacks.
Okay, I gotta roll to see if that works.
And then he writes, nice to meet you, QP. And seals the letter up, sets it down, and waits.
It disappears.
Or just says, shit!
It worked.
You didn't expect it to work.
That letter worked.
Lord just says, shit! Okay, oh, fuck. Ah, shit. Okay, oh, shit, they can't write me back! Ah, damn it, okay. He holds his head, and he's just like, motherfucker, okay. He pulls out another piece of paper, and he frantically scribbles down the professor's name.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, I fucked up. He's like, oh, yeah.
Are you going to write anything else other than I fucked up?
No, he elaborates the situation. It's something along the lines of, okay, I think I know, I don't know how to explain, but I think I found out some information regarding my eyes and the ink, and do you know someone named Sammy Jacks? Writes his name at the bottom, seals it up, and sets the letter down.
It also disappears too!
And then he just face plants on his freaking cot. And he's like, shit.
Okay. I wasn't planning on this, but
welcome. Laura's literally just like head desking his cot right now.
Okay.
He fucked up. He's like, he didn't expect it to work. Because he's like, he figured he'd have to meet the person first, but I guess that dream counted.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's just like yelling infernal curse words into a sleeping bag and waiting for whatever karma's about to come, hit him in the face with letters.
Speaking of karma,
he's just waiting for that moment in Harry Potter when like the letters come out of the fireplace.
Speaking of karma, we could timey-wimey this a little bit.
Oh yeah, it's definitely it can be timey-wimey.
We can timey-wimey this a little bit. And considering considering who we have in audience, Oatmeal, you don't have to if you don't like, but would you like to unmute so we could potentially RP this little bit of stuff happening if you want?
Gonna yell at me.
Oh, wow.
Hey.
Okay. When does the professor get this?
The professor would get this letter after they managed to get to the ellipsis, which could potentially be at the end of the current arc of Into Silence.
Okay.
Can be after that, but tomorrow I mean, secret.
Are these?
I hold my head in my hands and I apologize.
Do these work in a similar way as the like
sort of,
loyal paper
basically,
airplanes?
You're gonna reach in your pocket and feel a letter.
Okay.
And you're not sure how it got there, but Lore's written you before, so.
Okay, that helps.
So I feel like both Sammy and Professor are in the ellipsis, probably having some time to themselves, they're both vibing in the same area.
Mm-hmm.
And Sammy kind of is fiddling with his sleeve.
He would feel in his hammer space of letters.
And he kind of he's fiddling with his sleeve because it's like one of his stims to do, and then he just accidentally pulls out this letter. Mm-hmm. And his shading goes gray as he looks at it and goes, what?
Yeah, the professor might recognize a certain type of handwriting on it.
What's that you got there?
I pulled out a letter, and is it addressed to Sammy?
Yep, that says Sammy Jacks on it.
His shading goes a little purple as he looks at it and goes, it's addressed to my old name.
Well, hang on, I think those initials. He reaches into his own pocket, and pulls out a similar letter.
The handwriting on this one is a lot more frantic.
Sammy, that's the how do I explain this? That's the lad I mentioned, who,
Do you want to open the letter?
Yeah, he opens the letter.
The first thing it says is, I fucked up.
Oh dear.
He just kind of has opened his letter by this point, and it's just, nice to meet you.
LQP.
Who's LQP?
Oh, it's,
Do I have a stalker?
No! Oh. Oh, good grief, Laura, what have you gotten yourself into? I told you, it's the lad with the accident ink.
I am going to roll to see if Sammy can actually remember this.
I think he probably. I just re-listened to that part of Into Silence.
Oh,
I think
God.
he lost that entire conversation.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. So we're going to actually RP this as if he did not remember, because I'm not sure if he's going to gain those memories back.
That's entirely fair.
And he's also, I hold
Forgetful.
up my boy, he is himbo. He could potentially forget about
Yeah.
this even if he did remember.
Yeah.
I have dies. So he just kind of freezes and goes, what do you mean, Professor?
Okay. Maybe for. Okay. Okay. I mentioned it before, but it's okay if you've forgotten. There's Seeker and Amber and I met a young man who had a rather striking purple eyes, and he explained that they were from an accident with some magical ink that wasn't supposed to be magical. There was a issuing, there was a ordering mistake or something, and there's sort of a fear effect tied to them.
Professor, you see Sammy's shading go that deep blue, dark blue, horror struck.
Yeah, that's the one.
He reaches out to Sammy's shoulders, the note kind of crumpled in one hand, and he says, "No, yes, I know, just we went over this. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. It's not your fault."
Can I write him back? How did...
Yes. I don't know how.
Lore did explain to you that all you
Yeah,
need to do is write his full name.
Yeah,
But Sammy hasn't met them, so you're not sure.
yeah. What he says is like, I don't know if it'll work if you do it. He's got a sort of a strange situation where he's difficult to reach and doesn't have a permanent address. A bit like myself in that respect. But if I no, I mean, we've if I pen it, at least it should work.
I need to know if he's okay.
Yes.
I will say that the letter does mention quite panicked something about dreams and nightmares.
Yeah. He's gonna skim over the letter again. He's still kind of holding Sammy's shoulders and like looking between him and the letter.
Yeah. The letter essentially says something like, "I fucked up. I have these nightmares. I didn't think they were real. I heard a name in it, and I thought, hey, maybe I should write the name and see if it sends on a letter," and it did. And now I'm... and I think that it has something to do with my eyes. And I think you know them.
Yeah, the professor shows Sammy the letter.
I am going to roll intelligence to see if Sammy can connect a dot or two.
Yeah, apparently he heard your name in his dreams or nightmares.
He rolled an 18,
Uh-huh.
and his shading just goes darker as he goes, I think he saw my nightmare.
What nightmare?
I dreamed the other night that there was, I dreamt a lot of stuff, but in part of that dream, I remember meeting a boy named Lore.
Oh, describe him.
Tall, like
Very.
really tall. I was little.
Well,
in the
he's
dream.
taller than I am, so
Tall.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
His hair was really fluffy brown. His eyes matched
Yeah.
my shading when I'm scared. Uh, he had a lot of flowers on his outfit.
Oh,
Purple. Purple motif. If he was a toon, I would say his theme was purple.
huh. Well,
Very
alright.
toon-like, honestly. Like you, Professor.
Huh.
He was nice. He wanted to check on my arm. It was right after I got my first ink draw.
E huh. Oh, that's very strange.
And there was a lot of other stuff that I was dreaming happened. I had a nightmare that I killed Arata.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, Professor, can we write that letter now? I need to make sure that they're
yes.
okay.
Yes. Yeah, he's gonna take out a piece of paper and, a pen and, uh, can he, he's gonna hold it out to Sammy, like, you might as well try first. If it doesn't work,
Mm-hmm.
then I can, uh, rewrite it for you.
Okay. And he starts penning a letter to Lore. And his shading goes from horror struck to a light lilac because he's been in his own head. He knows what messed up stuff he dreams about. And
Mm.
if this dude has been dreaming the same crap as him, oh my gosh, are they okay? And like he basically explains to Lore that he had received the letter and wanted to make sure that Lore was okay because they apparently were sharing nightmares
Mm.
that night, and the professor was able to explain some of the situation. Are you okay?
You know when you
Mhm.
accidentally hit send on an email when it was supposed to go to drafts?
Uh-huh.
That's basically what has happened to Lore today.
Also, Katie, I am going to take DM reins and roll a d2 to see if it actually will work.
I mean, they technically met, but I feel you. I hold my head.
Okay, I rolled a d2.
Yeah.
It will not work with
Uh,
Sammy
Um,
writing the letter.
I will say that if the professor just puts it in an envelope with Lore's name on it, and he's technically the one to send it, it'll work.
All right.
I've established that in other. It depends on the person who's sending it.
alright. So the professor, is it safe to say that he's read it?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Because Sammy would shove the letter at Professor and go, "Does this sound okay? I don't want to sound panicked, but I'm concerned, and I don't know if that's going to leak into my tone." And they probably have to workshop it a little bit so it's not as frantic.
I laugh at the letter that Lore sent the professor.
Yeah. Yeah, but he manages to, actually, you know what? I don't even think he has an envelope on hand. I think he just folds one out of a bigger piece of paper, um, and, and addresses it to Lore, from himself, puts the letter in, and closes it up.
As you hold out the letter, you feel like something tugs it out of your hands, and it's gone.
I will note Sammy did clarify in the letter that his name is no longer Sammy Jax. It's Sammy Satomi now.
Shit. I just. Oh my gosh. This is. This is what's supposed to happen. Okay, cool. Lore gets the
Well,
letter.
You
yeah,
got a
but it's
letter. I just
sort
got
of
a
this
letter.
Since you sent the last one, there's sort of this just break of like nothing happening for a good chunk, like maybe 20 minutes.
Laura's literally just like pulling on his face, mortified, and just waiting. Just like shit. Like if all of the languages he knows, he is swearing in them. Some of the new words that Minami has taught him.
So the letter appears.
He grabs it and like opens it very frantically and reads it. What kind of stuff does it say?
The first line of it is, "Dear Lore, are you okay?" This is Sammy, quote unquote, Jax, now Satomi. Professor explained a few things. Are you okay? Because I had the same nightmares that you did.
Lordy has like a piece of paper out as he's reading this kid's letter, and he's like, "Am I okay? Are you okay?" Also, Professor, what the fuck? Did you know? Question mark. I'm not mad. I'm just really confused. The letter wasn't supposed to work. I was just curious. Fuck that. And then he's just like, "I'm okay, Sammy. My circumstances are a little interesting, but I'm okay. We should probably meet up. Maybe the professor can help you find me. It's gonna be a little complicated. Sincerely, Laura McGuire Parif. P.S. Is your brother okay? Question mark.
Yeah.
Sorry if that's an intense question. I'm a little frazzled. Sends it and like just puts it down. It vanishes and he holds his head because this is the worst day ever.
I think in the interim, the professor has at least very briefly explained that Laura was also in his head. Not super recently, but when they first met.
Is this gonna become a gag shit?
Oh my god! Guys, cabins, it's a gag.
Laura's just
no.
here to
Number 2.
This is not good.
to collect all the lore.
Gotta catch him all.
You're a
Oh my
lore
gosh.
magnet, Lore.
I feel like,
Oh no.
You landed in the wrong place to be named that.
Yeah, he's realizing that.
But yeah, Professor explains that, but then he's probably just like got his hand in his pocket, like rummaging around, and finally, bop, there's a letter, and he brings it out and hands it to Sammy.
Professor, you actually feel it like as you're digging in your pocket. It's almost like something handed it to you.
It's a little disconcerting, but whatever.
Sammy reads his part of the letter and goes, "Oh, he's okay. He's not like in trouble, right?"
Oh, as far as I'm aware, no. He's just, he's got an entirely unrelated curse to be lost.
Really quick, Professor, as you say that, you feel something appear in your pocket.
What is it?
It's another letter.
Oh, good heavens.
It says addendum.
Okay, alright.
It's granting the professor permission to say whatever he needs to make sure Sammy's okay.
Uh-huh. Yeah, he opens it and is just like, yeah. He's got it.
Sammy's very concerned for Lore.
It's, an interesting problem, but he's working on it.
Okay. And I should write him and let him know that Arata's that Arata's fine. Okay. That was one of the messed up parts of the nightmare. Dreamed that Arata died because I got too angry.
Ah.
I should clarify what was just my dreams and what was actual. It was
Actual memories and such.
yeah, because it was a mix. It was mixed. Yeah.
Funny that. He should be used to that experience, Lore.
Oh, uh, Professor, are you okay?
Oh, yeah, he like leans back and puts his hands up, like, don't even get started on me. Like, this is about you and Lore.
Professor, I want to make sure that you're okay.
I'm still working through it, but we got the bulk of it sorted when Laura and I met that day shortly after actually the um, day after day 2 days after I don't after the
Wait,
thing with Epsilon.
right? Uh, oh, Professor.
He just kind of shrugs and looks away a little sheepishly.
Why didn't you call for Arata and I? I mean,
Well, I couldn't. I was indisposed.
okay. I'm glad that he helped out, but I just glad you're okay. And he kind of walks closer to you and wraps you up in a very big hug.
Yeah, his shoulders were kind of hiked up, but they relax, and he returns the hug.
Sammy might
The
return
letter.
to the letter. Well, he will potentially circle back to the subject when there's not as many other things competing
Going
for
on.
his. Yeah. He might
Yeah.
poke a little bit later, might not.
Mm-hmm.
He's concerned for the professor, but he's going to trust that the professor says that he's okay right
Mm-hmm.
now.
Yeah.
And he's going to trust that.
Hey,
Yeah.
Professor.
Uh-huh.
You feel another letter in your pocket?
Oh, he just kind of sighs and pulls it out.
It's much smaller this time, and you kind of open it, and it's a card for the painted lady, and on the back of it it says, "Bring emotional support."
Oh. He tilts his head.
It's addressed to Sammy.
I think he wants me to come with someone I trust. Like you or Arata, probably.
Well, that's probably a good idea.
With the nature of my ink in his eyes, it's we're going to need to talk about my family.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I should write him back and let him know that Arata's okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what did he mean by did I know what was going on? I don't.
I think it's he gestures to the eyes. I think it's just that whose ink it might be.
Oh, I mean, when he told me about it, I suspected maybe, but I didn't want to say anything because well, I wasn't sure, and
Yeah. I what else did he see in the dream? Oh, it wasn't all bad. we went through some stuff that I dreamt about meeting you again.
Oh, back.
Back when I
Oh,
was little.
oh, that must have been trippy for lore.
Yeah, so maybe you could write a letter talking about that side of
Mm,
things. Because I I will be real,
yeah.
I don't remember everything about that. I
Mm-hmm.
just remember you taking care of me, saving me from Sinclair, the gummies,
Mm,
and then Haku.
mm-hmm.
Professor,
Yeah.
I think something happened in Haku with me there.
y- Yeah. I think maybe it did.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna go write that letter,
Mm,
and um, you can write yours, and since we've talked kind of a little bit in the letters, maybe that counts for us meeting.
I don't know. I mean, we could just put them in the same envelope.
I mean, I
Although
want to
I'm
keep
starting to
talking.
feel more like a mailbox.
Sammy laughs at that and is like, it's kind of why I want to check and see if
If
us
it
talk.
works.
And Katie, would that work?
I think, given the circumstances, specifically with with Sammy, yes, because I look at how the letters are transported, and I'm just like, I think so.
Okay, all right. I'm pretty sure the however it works would be kind of
It's fine. It's
yeah.
fine.
Alright,
Yeah.
so Sammy he writes his letter and clarifies a bunch of the stuff that happened in the dream. And eventually, Lore, you get 2 different letters from 2 different people.
Lore
Mhm.
holds them both up and goes, "Woo!" and falls back like it worked. He opens them, and I think we just kind of end on a letter exchange.
Yep.
Like, have you ever gotten spammed in a text message?
Yeah.
You're gonna get lots of letters in your pocket, Professor.
Yeah.
So
Oh
I
boy.
got you. I'm so sorry. Good thing your pockets are bigger on the inside.
Uh-huh.
Oh gosh.
What the hell?
Sometimes it's the nature of an FPS to just throw your loosely defined plans outside of a window.
This wasn't outside of a window. This was this was so much more outside than us. I die.
It was like we threw all of the plans out of a skyscraper window from the top floor.
Oh, I was gonna say that got defenestrated with Camille.
No! Anyways, thank you, Oatmeal, for jumping in. That was a fantastic way to end this FPS.
You're amazing. I love the professor. I
Oh,
hope to I hope to lovingly torture him more. Anyway.
thank you for letting me join in. This was a fantastic FPS even before I joined.
Yay!
Thank you, everyone who will be listening in the future. We will bid you a good time zone.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.
Don't get any mysterious letters. Oh my gosh.
I gotta find where my mouse ends. I don't know where my mouse is.
Where did your mouse end and where does it begin?
All right,
Still
recording
on.
on my end.
Here, I got it.
Okay.
Okay. Bye.